Hey everyone, and welcome to this new speed build in The Sims 4. And today I'm building an apartment in San Myshuno, more exactly in the Spice District, for the new current household that I started playing with last weekend. And I'm having so much fun with this household, even though I've played just a couple hours with her, because this is a young woman whose name is Mabel Beam, and this is actually a name that was randomly randomized. This is a weird sentence. I randomized it using the randomize button with the names of the Sims, and I ended up on Mabel Beam, which I thought was such a funny name, but also so uncommon, and I really liked the sound of it for some reason. So I don't know if this is something strange, if this has a weird meaning to it. I hope not. I just hope that it's just a random name that sounds really cool. But anyway, her name is Mabel Beam, and I also created her using the Create a Story tool, or yes, story mode that we have now in Create a Sim. And usually when I was playing around with this Create a Story mode, I always ended up with Sims that were either divers or actors. I maybe once had a doctor, but I don't know, my game must have crashed or something because I don't have them anymore. But yeah, usually I have actors, divers, and my Sims usually have the herbalism skill, which actually has nothing to do with how they're described. Sometimes even my Sims do not like really being outdoors, like they have traits like squeamish and stuff, but they do have the herbalism skill, which I think doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So that led me to not really get attached to the Sims that I previously created using this Create a Story mode. But when I created Mabel, I thought her skills, her career, and her traits actually made sense. So Mabel, she has the city native aspiration. She also has, if I remember well, the bookworm, goofball, and outgoing trait. She's in the tech guru career. She has the programming skill, the logic skill, and she also had a little bit of the flower arranging skill, which at first I thought was completely random, but then I had this idea for a backstory for her which made complete sense on how she had this flower arranging skill, and I'm going to talk about that in just a second. But yeah, she was in the tech guru career, and I started creating her, modifying her appearance, her style, and I thought that she was this kind of young woman who just, you know, she's just fresh out of her teen years, she's just fresh out of university, she just had her computer science degree, and she also just had this new job in the tech guru career, and she's just so excited to have this new career, to be able to be independent, which is something that I think is really important for Mabel. She really wants to be independent, and she doesn't like to have someone telling her what to do, which is kind of funny, seeming that she's now in a career with a boss and everything. And yeah, so she's really happy to have this new career and everything, and when she finally had that job, she decided to move out from her parents' house and move into her very new and first apartment, which is this apartment that is being built just in front of you right now. And as you can actually see in this apartment, I actually cut off a part of the place because I usually think that the apartments in the Spice District are way too big for what they are. And sometimes it's really difficult to organize this space, and I really saw Mabel living in a studio apartment because I really think that she's around maybe 20, 21, 22 at the most years old. Was that English? I don't even know anymore. Anyway, she is really young, so I didn't really see her living in an apartment with already one bedroom and one kitchen and a living, dining, big bathroom. I really wanted for her to live in a studio apartment. Like, she's starting off fresh in life, and she needed to live in a smaller space than what these apartments in the Spice District are. Which is why I cut off this part of the of the apartment. And at first I felt really weird doing so, because usually I don't really like not using one space in the apartment or in the build that I'm doing. Every single tile has to be used in my build. So this was actually really strange for me. And when I started playing in this place, I could only see this empty room that I left on the side of the apartment. But then eventually I got used to it, and now I'm just so happy to be living in this apartment, and it seems actually quite realistic to me. But anyway, so Mabel, she moved in here, she started working, she also got herself into SimTube, I want to say. Like, she's starting to make videos, she has a Simstagram story, she's just overall a very digital person. Like, she likes sharing her life, she likes discovering new tricks with gaming, with modding, with programming, and also with the media production skill. She just likes doing everything related to computers. But Mabel doesn't come from a family that is really into technologies and computers and social medias and stuff. Her parents actually are florists. They own a flower shop and they actually struggled to have a baby. They had Mabel towards their late 30s, I think. Even though, you know, it's not that late for some people, but for them it was really late because they really wanted to have a child, but they really struggled. And when Mabel came along, they were so happy to finally be parents, and they were the happiest people in the world. And as Mabel grew up, they started thinking that maybe one day they could let her the flower shop that they had built from scratch. But Mabel, as you can guess, had other plan in mind. Of course, her parents, they were not disappointed in what she was thinking doing with her life. They were just a little bit sad to know that they could probably never let this flower shop as a legacy in their family, but who knows what can happen in the future. And by the way, I didn't create Mabel's parents. I would love to eventually. I would love to create her parents, put them into a house. By the way, I think Mabel comes from Brindleton Bay, and I would love also to build their flower shop because it could be cool if one day Mabel would take over the flower shop, or maybe if she meets someone, or maybe one of her kids, if she has kids someday, maybe they could inherit this flower shop. I don't know, it could be cool actually to have this kind of legacy going on in the family. But anyway, so Mabel, she had other plans in mind, and she decided to just leave Brindleton Bay. She went to university and she's doing her own thing. And as I said, she's very independent. But right now she has a boss because she works in the tech guru career. She has this 9-to-5 job, but I think it's kind of getting on her nerves because I've played with her in the game a couple weeks already. I've just played like 2 to 3 hours with her, but I've played maybe a couple weeks in the game. And she's already having trouble at work. Like, she's always doing her own thing and her boss is really not happy. Like, her performance bar is actually in the orange, almost in the red. Even though she has all of her skills, she has everything to get promoted, but she's not getting promoted because she's always doing something bad, something... She just does whatever she wants, you know? And I think this is something that's going to get on her nerves, and eventually I would love for her maybe to go into the freelance programmer career. I think this is something that could actually interest her. And also, because of all the hobbies that she has on the side, because she's playing video games, she's creating videos, she's programming on her own, her job is actually getting in the way of all of her hobbies, which also annoys her because she feels like she's stuck in something. She has this organization that she has to follow and she hates that. She really doesn't like that. But for now, she's still in that job. She's still a little bit afraid to become a freelancer, but maybe at some point she'll be brave enough to quit her job and take that risk to become a freelance programmer. This is actually what I'm thinking for Mabel. But anyway, I'm just so happy to have this new current household. If you've been on the channel for a little bit, you must know of a family called the Meherio family, which I've played with probably a month or so. But I don't know, I got bored with this family eventually. I don't know, I didn't really know what to do next with them, and I don't know, I just got bored with them. So now with Mabel, I'm just so happy, and I felt like the spark that I had whenever I opened my game had gone for a while, but now with Mabel, I feel like it's back, you know, I have the inspiration, I'm so happy every time I play the game, and it's so cool. I'm so happy to have Mabel, and I'm so excited to eventually share with you her story and what she's been up to. And I would love also, if you have been following the channel for a little while, you must have seen that I've been drawing things on Inkscape, and I've also been trying out Illustrator recently, and I would love maybe to tell her story through little vignettes. I don't think it's vignettes, you know, little cardboards or things, you know, just little drawings to tell Mabel's story. I don't know, I think it could be really cool. But anyway, I'm going to leave you here, guys. So I really hope you enjoyed this build. Let me know in the comments what you think. You will find in the description all of the information to download this apartment on the gallery, but you can also find it by using my origin ID, which is Mojam11. And I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you in the next one.